uncensored version of the Random Kristian Show, Tuesday edition. It's Taco Tuesday, and it is Tuesday, 2 for Tuesday. So, anyway, rocking out with Little Dead Campers, our house band. They are out there on YouTube. Check them out, guys. Subscribe to them. And subscribe to us. We're here on Facebook Live. We're on YouTube Live every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2:30, just like we are right now. Actually, on time for once. Cued the music up right the first time for once. Things are going way too good. Got a few people that we're going to be stepping in here with us. First off, just want to say thanks to, let me get it up here, Free Range Chicken Poop Lip Balm. Yep, that's right. Free Range Chicken Poop. There is no actual poop in this, but it works wonders on your lips. I've been using it because I work outside most of the time, and it's awesome. So I'm visibly smooth and soft. Yes. Well, only my wife knows that. But anyway, it's out there now. So, also, I'm going to get it right this time, guys. Los Gatos Auto Service. Check them out if you're in the South Bay area there in Los Gatos. Great bunch of guys. They've subscribed to the show just like you should on YouTube. And also, don't forget, we are on Anchor.fm or Spotify for the podcast later if you have to check out and go do something probably far more important than this. But hey, you're here now, so let's get going. You guys can chat with us through Facebook or through YouTube. And speaking of Facebook and YouTube, Mr. Facebook himself, Matthew, right there. There he is. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. Mr.
Right,
Facebook, though, that's something that no one's ever called me before in my life.
You very much resemble Facebook in so many non-ordinary ways. And then also we got a little new blood joining us with Mr. Isaac Zanil. Isaac, welcome to the show, my man.
It's great to be on. Right
on, brother. Glad to have you here. Isaac is a student working on psychology and philosophy and theology, correct?
Soon to be, yeah.
Okay, you're moving into theology. Yeah. But me and Matt both have somewhat similar backgrounds. Not really. Okay, so I just dabbled in a lot of stuff, and I was pretty high.
I've taken a philosophy class or two.
Yeah, so, but nothing like, I mean, Isaac is top of his class. He's way smarter. Well, okay, anybody's really smarter than me. So I just get lucky and happen to know a lot of cool people. So Isaac, welcome to the show, my man. Glad to have you on. And, you're going to find out what it's like to deal with a lot of randomness.
It's all good.
Okay, and Brian has not joined in with us yet. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to make it or not. And but anyway, Brian, also our other counterpart that likes to hang out with us, he should hopefully be joining in soon. So, just throwing it out there earlier. Last week, we kind of grazed on the subject of we were talking more comics than anything, I believe, Matt, which was, we started going into superheroes and things like that. And it got me thinking, I was like, not only, especially in this day and age, there are a lot of just heroes in real life. Obviously I'm a huge Iron Man fan, have been since I was a kid. Spider-Man, I was into for a while, and then he got kind of weenie. I don't know. Then he got really cool when he got venomized, and I'm not going to go into it. But anyway.
Man, I love the black suit, and then my brother was like, "Oh, but that's an alien symbiote thing," and I'm like, who cares? It looks cool. Whatever, bro.
Yeah, and it gave him
then he got super cool insane, but yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
And remember when I had the 300 Spider-Man comic book and ended up selling it for rent and totally regretting that because the guy turned around and sold it for like $50 and I got $250 for it. So,
yeah, my brother sold his comics to the same guy. I'm pretty sure it's the same guy, and just you don't make money selling it to some guy who's going to turn around and resell it. So,
yeah,
what are you gonna,
I pretty much sucked at that. Now, Isaac, I know you said you're not super knowledgeable on comics, but
Sure.
you picked up a lot. I mean, me and you have had a few discussions.
Right. Yeah. I mean, comics was never really like my thing. At least superhero comics. Like I was definitely into Walking Dead comics. That was definitely like my area of comic books and graphic novels, so to speak.
Right.
That was definitely my forte. But right. Yeah. They're
graphic novels, not comics, man. It's graphic novel. It's not a
that
doll.
Was definitely,
it's a figurine. It's
right. Yeah. That was definitely my area of comics, but I just fell in love with the lore of specifically like the MCU through the movies and and all of that. So
and they did seriously, they're starting to kind of fade out on it, but I mean some of these first Marvel movies were just so and they kept it as true as they could to the actual comic, which I loved. They found great actors to play the characters. And so true to form. I mean, they nailed it on Iron Man. They nailed it on Peter Parker. Well, Tobey Maguire I thought did really good. And then this new kid,
Tom Hiddleston.
Tom Holland.
Is that his name? Tom Holland.
Yeah. He did a great job, I think, as Spider-Man. Chris Evans as Captain America. I mean, he was also
really good casting.
Yeah. I mean, we could sit here and go, and stoke the fires and, oh, yeah, well, they're great. But now they're owned by Disney, and so they're kind of starting to suck.
Well, I think they're kind of done. I mean, well, unless they start filling in some gaps, which Disney probably will, because you can always make a buck. And
oh, yeah. Oh, there's still so many in the pipe that I've read about that they're still working on. The Black Widow, that's going to be coming out this year, I think.
Well, it was supposed to come out over the pandemic, I believe, and then that kind of shut movie theaters.
It just faded out, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but and like we were saying, Disney owns it now, so I don't know. It's getting kind of bastardized, but. Don't get me started on Walt and his empire of owning everything.
Yeah,
but the thing is, then they can make all kinds of movies, though. I mean, you're getting a free reign as long as it's making money. Disney will say, "All right, make another one, one," and as long as you have good writers and good directors involved, I don't think it's a bad thing. I mean. We are over halfway through the timeline now, as Chris, you and I were talking about. We just finished Ant-Man Sunday evening. We, took yesterday off, of course. And I have to say that I think overall, if you shut your mind off and just watch them, they're great.
Right. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I think they're really good. Me and my wife are actually watching through. Where we just hit Black Panther in I think it's phase 3 on Disney.
We're watching on Disney Plus. They have it in chronological order.
Gotcha.
And we're watching it that way, and it's mind blowing.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I think it's really, they've done a great job.
Yeah.
The only thing that's kind of disappointing is that Disney doesn't have access to the Sony Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland.
Yeah.
He appears in Civil War, and he appears, of course, in Infinity War, and Does he appear in Endgame? I can't remember. I think he does. Yeah, he does.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
But that's kind of the only thing, because I really like the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. But
yeah,
I never saw those. I only saw the first two with Tobey Maguire.
Those are great too. Yeah.
So I think coming up here pretty soon after Ant-Man is Captain America: Civil War. So I'll be introduced to whoever's playing this Spider-Man.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Oh,
we'll see if I like him, because I love Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Isn't it Tom Holland?
It is the Tom Holland Spider-Man in that movie.
Okay.
Yeah, because they redid it. So okay, so we're all in love with the Marvel, and
I wouldn't say I'm in love with it. I'm enjoying it though.
Well, I swear,
details.
The first time I heard the rumors of the Iron Man movie coming out, I was like, no way. And then we ended up Googling it or something. I can't remember how I found it. And I saw a clip of the movie trailer. And I literally, like, first off, you hear, the Iron Man, the Black Sabbath song. It's, and I was like, oh, and I got goosebumps on my arms. I'm like, what is this? Is this real? Is this really going to happen? And then, like, they started showing stuff from the movie. I was like, I was seriously like a 13-year-old girl just going, oh my God. And like, everybody was like, dude, you are really geeking out on it. And I'm like, it's going to be so good. They couldn't have found a better actor in Robert Downey Jr. in it. They're like, okay, yeah, dude, whatever. And then everybody was like, oh, it's such a great movie. I was like, duh, told you. So anyway, nobody listens to me. No, really. Okay, so timing. Yeah, me and Matt are a little rusty on our comebacks there, but world used to be much better when we were like working right next to each other.
Oh God, yeah.
So
we'll get there.
I wanted to bring up, because so many people are obsessed with all these heroes and superheroes, and I know there's been a lot, especially during the pandemic and stuff, about who the real heroes are. And of course we have the police, the firemen, our armed forces. Do I agree with some of the things they fight for? No, but I do appreciate and stand by our military. We've got nurses and doctors. Gray area for me, but I do, they are out there and they're doing what needs to be done, and I think that is, incredibly important that they stand in there. And of course there is always, the exceptions, in any field. There's the good and bad cops, or per se, as the saying goes, there's good cop, bad cop. There's there's firemen that have been known to set fires just because they're pyromaniacs, and that's why they became firemen. Things like that. Doctors using their positions. I'm trying to make sure I use the right words here. To manipulate things and stuff. So there's always exceptions, but for the large part, man, these people, and they put in the countless hours, you look at the wildfire scenes out in California and out towards the West Coast and whatnot, because it's not just California. It was Colorado and Arizona and Nevada, for God's sakes. I mean, it was, Oregon.
I was going to say, and
yeah. And all these guys pull together, guys from California go to Oregon. There's guys from back east that came out to Oregon and California and stuff. I mean, they, without question, they're like, yeah, we're gone. Let's go. And that is, heroic in itself, just to be selfless like that and say, I've got to get out there and I've got to do what I know how to do to help save these people. And that's what they're doing.
My brother, who's not watching, I don't think this time, but he ran one of the water tenders up
Oh,
in Northern California for a little bit. Got on one of those crews. I mean, he's not a firefighter, but those guys needed trucks filled up with water so they could fight it, and he's just like, I'll do what I can do.
he's into it. He's on it. Okay.
Yeah.
So now I know I've stated the basic, and I know I threw this out there earlier this week or over the weekend, whatever. Have you guys? I mean, what else? What am I missing? Because I know there's other people out there, you know. And I mean, one obviously comes to mind for me because it's also in my other field of work. But I don't really call them heroes, but I guess all the essential workers, as you want to call it. I mean, would you guys consider that also part of the heroes?
Yeah, I mean, in a sense, they definitely, at the very least, they're fulfilling an essential need.
Yeah.
So it's like I look at some of my employees at my restaurant, and they really suffered through a lot of the shutdowns and whatnot, and they did provide. We were luckily able to stay open for curbside, and so we were able to provide for people that kind of relief of not having to cook for yourself, and that can really there's wonders that a hot meal can do for people when it's been prepared for you, instead of you preparing it for yourself. So I wouldn't say that's like heroic, like you're saving a life, but
I think that I agree with you. I think that, well, I think the word hero is thrown out there a little much, and it kind of dilutes it. And
right.
I would agree that the frontline workers, the nurses and doctors and stuff, like, could reach hero level. But then when you get down to, I think that your restaurant workers are heroes. I mean, I am a little biased towards that, having worked in restaurants. But I mean, holy cow, they went in and they, like you said, they provided a hot meal. I cook at home, 99% of the time, but every once in a while, it's tiring.
Oh yeah.
It's like, you know what? I want something that I can't make, and
Absolutely.
so I'm going to go here to go get it, or whatever. And and I think that if you're gonna throw the word hero out there, everyone from the farmer growing it, the guy picking it, the guy transporting it, the people processing it. I mean, if you still had a job because it was essential, you're a hero. Like I know people that drive oil rigs, like trucks, delivering, gas and oil here and there. Those guys are heroes too. I mean, so you got to keep the economy moving as well as you can.
Okay. And Matt, you brought up something that I was actually going to try and lead into, because really, in essence, everybody's job is essential if we really look at it. I mean, yeah, you're talking to the fry cook at McDonald's. You're talking to the guy that works the 24-hour gas station. We're talking to the people in the supermarkets that are constantly restocking toilet paper.
Oh yeah, you go to the grocery store and you see the same people every time. I mean, they went to work, they dealt with it, they wore masks. Some of them had to enforce, hey man, you got to wear a mask, and I wouldn't want that job.
Yeah.
Some of them took it
honestly, like some people, reacted not quite well to being told they have to wear a mask inside a store.
Yeah, right. And I mean, I'm guilty of walking into a store and like I'm just getting something real quick. I'm in and out. I avoid people, but if I know I'm going to be there for a little bit, I'll strap the little face thingy on and wander.
But that's different. You don't feel like, oh, they're somehow trying to, some wacky theory on there trying to I didn't
Control?
want to get into that. Yeah,
They're
like
trying to recognize your eyes on the street cameras so they can dominate our culture.
man, so they'll know who I am by my eyes, man.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, what a perfect time to be a bank robber. I mean,
Oh
you know,
yeah.
you're you're wearing, especially during the winter, you wear the
Right.
full on, just the eye, and you just walk into a bank. I need some money. Okay, what's your account number? No, you don't get it. I need money. I've got a gun, and
No.
you're going to.
I can't understand you, sir.
Yeah.
And they sit there and argue, and then by that time, they've already triggered the silent alarm. There's 15 SWAT cars outside, and you know, it's the end of that situation. So, yeah. So, really, and which I think also makes a lot of things heroic because a lot of us have learned to really start, now we're going to exclude the fact that there was riots and a bunch of other crazy stuff going on. In the midst of all that, so many of us pulled together. I mean, worldwide, really. If you think about it, how your neighbors and stuff, people you see in the store. I know I've helped people out that I don't even know. I mean, you just do extra things because we're all getting whacked out. And I mean, yeah, it's finally starting to come to a chilling point again, and where we're getting a little more in control of everything. But or at least I guess the new normal is setting in, as you want to call it. I'm not sure. I mean, I feel that way. Of course, the media plays it totally different because, again, I do believe they're trying to keep us scared and controlled. But that's
the media. I'm sorry, but the media. I don't think is trying to keep anyone under control or in fear. But the way they make money, the way they get viewership, is to sell the fear.
Oh yeah,
right.
And I was watching the inauguration a couple of weeks ago, and one of the networks that was showing it, like the way they were talking, the urgency in their voice made it seem like, oh my God, this is like, and then you change the channel and someone else will be like, oh, look at this. This is really nice. And we have so-and-so and so-and-so. And you're like, okay, now that's, that's what we need, but we don't watch news that's calm.
And you kind of clipped out.
What? Oh, we don't watch news that's calm.
Yeah. No.
What I said. I mean, it's always been. I mean, anyone that thinks that the media has suddenly become fear-mongering hasn't been paying attention.
Right.
I mean, it's always.
It's always been that way, and something I learned in my what class was it? I think it was psychology of marketing.
Yeah.
There's an emphasis on fear in certain colors. That's why Fox is blue and CNN is red. These are colors that our minds take to. Blue because in ancient times it was a very rare color, so we're like, oh, let's look at that. And red because, well, it signifies love, romance, war, violence, like signifies a bunch of things.
Warning.
Right. And then fear, our brains are wired to look out the negative because we need to look out for threats. And so that's why, whether they have increased their peddling of fear or not, it's why it sells. It's why they get the views. It's why they keep doing it. But that's just my little psychological tidbit in there from what I know.
I 100%, man.
Well, that's why Iron Man's suit is red and gold.
Yeah.
Boom.
Probably.
And that also has repulsors in his hands. Okay, sorry. I'm better now. All right.
Oh man, I'm thinking about Iron Man because like we've really been binging these movies, and all three of the Iron Man movies have just been amazing.
Well, yeah.
Great.
To go back to that, but
well,
yeah, I mean, the news, here on the Central Coast, we have a castle built by a guy that made his money selling fear. I mean, he arguably started the Spanish-American War, you know? I mean, really.
William Randolph Hearst. Yes, he was kind of a jackass, but he built a beautiful mansion in a beautiful part of the Central Coast, and it's pretty amazing there.
And if anyone out there gets a chance to go, it is so cool.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do it at least 2 days because you cannot get it all in one day. So
we went on a nighttime Christmas tour. Now a year ago, and it was amazing. People dressed up in costume for the time. They had one of the halls, one of like the sitting room, living room area things, giant tree, all done up. And the dude was all about See's candy. So there are boxes of See's candy.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know if being out where you guys are, if they have See's candy anywhere. I think it's a California thing.
It's more West Coast, but there are some out here.
Has made its way. I love See's candy and
a treat out here because whenever I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, we gotta get some. And I'm not allowed to anymore.
What? Say what?
Mom, if you're watching, I could use some See's candy. So, no, yeah, it's yeah. All right. Well. I'm going to get in trouble because I know my wife's watching. Now she's going to be like, are you eating See's candy? You're not supposed to be eating See's candy.
Yeah, she will, man. She knows.
I do. She can smell it on my breath when I'm driving up in the car.
Oh, my goodness.
Did you have chocolate?
Yeah. What is she like? And maybe we can send her something to bribe her.
No.
Well, she used to like Hershey's almond chocolate bars, but she's not into that anymore.
But you can buy that anywhere.
But yeah, no, it's she has a couple little special things, and because we are on our diet, we are being very strict with ourselves. We do treat ourselves every now and then, but becoming few and far between. So
I don't want to tell you about the pork chops I'm having for dinner. That are brining away as we speak.
Actually, we're gonna have chicken curry soup.
Oh, that actually sounds pretty good too.
Yeah, she was reading me. I went shopping, and so anyway, since I haven't eaten since 3 a.m., let's skip the food talk. Oh, and by the way, Isaac, would you like to plug your restaurant while you're on here? And
sure. Yeah, if you're in the Platte City, Parkville, Leavenworth, Kansas City area. I mean, come on down to Leavenworth. Close enough. It's a 30-minute drive for any of those places.
But
Tampico Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
What's the name of it? I love Mexican
Tampico
food.
Authentic Mexican Restaurant. My dad actually opened it almost 20 years ago now. Called it Tampico because that was the city in Mexico on the Gulf Coast that he grew up in.
Awesome. Oh, so it's all authentic and real.
Oh yeah. But now but see, it's gaucho Mexican food, so it's not like your central Mexican standard like street taco stuff. It's like Mexican cowboy authentic stuff. So it's like carnitas and burrito ranchero and like stuff like that. That's real good. That's actually where I'll be going after we're done here. But
because that's growing up here in California, we have a local mix of that's it's ranchero.
Oh yeah,
food influenced also by the Portuguese and the German that also moved here, and it's just
there's some great stuff out there.
I don't care where food comes, anywhere from any Spanish controlled area from here all the way down, it's all good.
Yep. Yeah. All along the Central Coast, man. Going. Oh man. Yeah. And Matt,
oddly enough, we didn't have good taquerias here until like a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Some really crappy Mexican restaurants, and you're like,
yeah.
I have to drive 20 minutes to go get real Mexican food. Come on, man.
Right.
And
now
Matt, you still need to send me the tri-tip recipe that you bragged about, and
I took a picture of it. It's in the messenger somewhere.
oh, is it?
Yeah.
How did I miss that? All
I
right.
don't
Well,
know.
because it's not summer, and I'm gonna do it during summer. So
Okay. Well, you can do it. You can roast it in an oven. It's not as good, but
no, not as good. Nope, not the same. So tri-tip, superheroes, essential workers, and Mexican food. We're really sticking to an agenda, and now the told you it was random, Isaac. It goes all over, and then I've got to find a way to put it all back in at the end. So, okay, so we've covered a lot of we basically have all said that there is everybody is basically essentially important to each other, and I think we're all a little more as this whole pandemic keeps going on. I think we're all starting to realize that, and that one way or another, we're all just gonna. I think it's really cool that we're really almost being forced to get along. In one way or another, whatever race you are, whatever color your skin, we're actually learning more to be accepting of each other, and I mean, granted, there's still the few hardcore, people that are, it's this way or the highway and whatnot. But I mean, am I wrong in thinking that? I mean, are you guys seeing the same thing I am, or is it? I mean, again, I'm not a huge news watcher because I just, really want to go back to drinking and ending my almost 14 years of not drinking after watching the news for 5 minutes.
Right.
But I mean, am I wrong in saying that? Because I really feel like everywhere I go, everybody's just really super pretty cool with each other.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say my experience has been kind of like halfway that. I'd say most of the time, most people are trying to get along, I think. But there's always, like you said, the hardcore. They seem to always be the loudest too. The hardcore people that are like not gonna give way either direction, right or left, doesn't matter. They're gonna say something, but they're usually the loudest.
When your ship is sinking, that's when you scream even louder.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I could see that, and I think in other areas, being that I work closely with ministry areas, I get to see a lot of stuff that goes on in the background of things where people are being very divisive, but I wouldn't say it's majority of the time. I think majority of the time right now, people are trying to link arms and just get through this crap.
Right. Because I think, we've all realized we're in this together one way or another. And unfortunately, we can't rely on the government, to be helping us much,
Right.
And it, again, not so heattampico.com. Huh?
Did I find it?
Yeah, that's our website.
Cool.
It'll be updated soon, but
okay.
We're actually doing a menu change right now. We're in the works with that, but yeah, that's the website.
Okay, cool. I'll check it out. I mean, there's two kinds of food that anywhere I go, I seek out. It's Mexican food and burgers.
Oh yeah.
There's a place with hamburgers. Like it's like, oh, okay. You think you know how to make a hamburger, huh? Well, let's see.
Right. Yeah.
And same thing with Mexican food. It's like, oh, you think you know how to make Mexican food, and you're like, oh, you make it for white people, which is okay, but I'd prefer prefer the real thing, and I want to burn my mouth off flavor.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it here in the comments too. I was trying to copy the link over to the. Oops. Well,
it wouldn't work.
Now.
Yeah, I'm that way with burgers too. I went up. I'll never forget this burger. I thought I was gonna prove them wrong because they were in Lake Dillon, Colorado. It's the Dam Brewery next to the dam, and they have what's called the Dam Burger. and it is a ghost pepper jack cheese, ghost pepper sauce, whatever. And it's hard to make a really hot thing taste good.
Yeah, because then it's all about the heat, and that's
Right.
like.
But I don't think I have had a better burger since, honestly.
Really?
It was
Come
one of the
visit
best
me,
burgers
man.
I've ever
I'll
had.
make you a burger that'll blow your brain.
For sure.
Dude, no, Matt, seriously, we worked at a place.
The one thing I know is burgers.
And
Awesome.
Matt was he was really the head guy. I mean, they had their versions and stuff, but Matt was one of the guys that really helped put those guys on the map.
Awesome.
Just the way he
Just
would
my
be
humble
creative.
opinion.
And we also made a amazing. Remember the Whopper milkshake that we made?
Oh yeah.
That became
Which
favorite of
reminds me,
ours.
years later we made making candy milkshakes, and someone came up with the idea of nerds.
Mm-hmm.
And not good. I mean, it's good if you want to act like a hummingbird for a while. But at the bottom of it, it's just this pile of sugar, and it's
Oh wow!
mudslide milkshakes with little airline bottles of alcohol.
So, and now, okay, I got to allude back to this damn burger for a minute. So it wasn't all the ghost pepper heat and all that stuff. It wasn't over. I mean, it didn't kill it off. I mean,
now was I sweating? Yes, I was. But it was some of the best flavor I've had on a burger.
It seems like it would be such overkill, though.
That's what I thought, but it really, man, they just did it well. I don't know. And I have at least my sister-in-law's boyfriend who can verify that, because we went back and got it that same week we were there, because I said it was so good, and he just had to try it. And he's not a fan of spice, but he still said it was one of the best burgers he's ever had.
Now, it was the flavor from the ghost pepper, and not just the heat from the ghost pepper.
Yes,
along with the heat, you can't run away from it.
Right.
But
no, it was definitely flavorful. I don't know where they sourced their ghost peppers from, but it was good. And I think that they did, instead of like most restaurants where they go and buy some ground beef, I think they made it from ribeye and threw some chuck and shoulders in there, and ground up their own.
They actually grind it, and
that's what it looked like. I'm not the best at dissecting just from looks, but that's what it looked like. It did not.
You can tell a frozen one versus a fresh one can.
Okay, so now what? Okay, since we're on the subject though, what is the hottest thing, Matt, that you have ever eaten where you had to have milk or something, or whatever, and it just ruined everything for you?
So Dave's Insanity sauce, the little hot sauce. I mean, and a drop in a little to-go thing of ranch, makes it spicy, not out of control spicy, but spicy. They had a Black Label Dave's Insanity sauce that one time I used to mix it in with some mayonnaise and throw it on a burger, because I love, I like a hit on my burger, and I put in way too much. It just wasn't paying attention, and a blop came out. I'm like, it's not going to be that. Oh my Lord. It just, I couldn't talk for 5 minutes, because you're like,
oh man,
your throat's burning. You're like, oh my God, milk. And luckily at the restaurant, we had that giant milk dispenser.
Oh yeah.
And you just glass, chug, glass, gargle, glass, chug. That's Dave's Insanity sauce. I'll look it up. I'll give you a.
All right, Isaac. What's the
man?
Now, or have any of you guys done that chip challenge yet?
No, I want to.
What chip?
It's what is it? A ghost pepper chip or something like that, or?
I think so. I'm not quite sure, but
I'd have to pull it up again. Somebody sent it to me a while back, and it's one chip, and it's in a little bag, and it's all over like TikTok and stuff like that. Where and they say you've got to use a glove to pull it out because your fingers will start burning, basically.
Oh wow!
And yeah, you see people, and they're like, and they just shove it in their mouth, and for the next 15 minutes, those people are dying.
Yeah, I think the worst was for me. I'd love to do that chip challenge, but I don't know if I'm brave enough. But
I've gotten to the point where I'm not about the heat anymore. I mean, I don't mind it, but I'm more about the flavor. Like, I mean, I like the flavor of chili peppers. Like, jalapenos are good.
Right. Almost every morning. Not this week. I've been kind of slacking on it, but almost every morning, because you get more of I'm big on what was the philosopher's name? Hippocrates, I think, said that let your food be your medicine and medicine be your food. And so I'm big on what I eat being my source of vitamins and all this and that and the other. So jalapenos have I think triple the amount of vitamin C as an orange.
Really?
And so almost every day I will fry up a jalapeno just on the pan real quick, put some salt and pepper and just eat it.
Oh, that's not bad at all right there.
No, it's not. It's good. But I think the worst thing heat-wise I ever ate was there's a local salsa manufacturer here in Kansas City. This would have been 12 years ago because I was young. I was 8. And they had all the stuff like the Bomb, Magnum 357 hot sauce, like some of the stuff that leaves you hurting for a while. And I didn't know any better. I was 8 or 9, and we were there for something for the restaurant, and I found this little sampler of, I think it was the Bomb, and I just shot the little thing of it, and I was I was in so much pain. I was whatever. But now it's every day I have eggs with habanero sauce on it every morning. It's
it's nothing now.
It's not a big deal now. But yeah, that was probably the worst experience with heat I've ever had on food.
Yeah. And this was total just freak. I used to live with a guy whose cousin he made his own pickled jalapenos. And he used to bring over jars all the time, and I'd just eat them like candy because they were amazing. They were hot, but they weren't too hot. They were just really good. Right. One night we were partying, and I'm he came over, and so I'm grabbing myself a jalapeno straight out of the jar, just didn't even, he said nothing. He's like, oh no, it's just a fresh batch. I swear that thing, it felt like somebody was putting a knife through my heart. I mean, it was the most insane. I almost passed out. I was just on the floor. I'm like, what did you do? And he's like, it's just the regular. Oh my God. He felt so bad. He was getting ready to call 911 because I guess apparently I looked like I was about to die. And I felt like I was about to die. I was like, dude, I was grabbing my chest. It was all just right here. I was like, oh God. I was down on the floor, just crouched over. So now I'm a little more cautious when somebody says, oh yeah, I make pickle my own. Yeah. Well, right. We'll take a little sample first, and then we'll see what goes on. And I don't get it. I mean, like I said, I'm so glad there was no video cameras on phones back in the day when I was a kid, because seriously, the movie Jackass has nothing on some of the stuff me and my friends did. But what these people are doing, it's like, you want your 15 or actually 30 seconds of fame is what it really boils down to at this point. But why the whole let's murder ourselves just to, get a bunch of YouTube hits or TikTok views or whatever. There's got to be something way more entertaining to do than the shock culture thing. But what do I know? I'm 55 years old now, and I'm not into lighting myself on fire.
Right.
Not that it hasn't happened, but I'm just saying, yeah, just throwing that out there.
What are you going to do?
Well, or jumping off a 4-story apartment building into 4 foot of shallow end pool.
That's so stupid. You guys were so dumb, and you can't even say, "Oh, I was young." No, man, you were in your late 20s. That's not. You could say you were dumb, but
and pretty inebriated, and we did it at night, so
man.
you really couldn't see where you were going. So yeah, it was pretty stupid. But lived through it, and I just threw that out there to the public. So
that's funny.
I want to. One thing I really do like right now. You mentioned the pickled jalapenos, like that, and they come in. You can get them with the onion and carrot. In the
oh yeah.
I'm really into the carrot right now.
I'm so hungry.
For some reason, they're just so good. And the other really crazy thing is you can get Tabasco peppers that are they've been pickled as well. And they're just little tiny, little pale green. Yeah. And they are, I don't know what they are on the Scoville thing or whatever, but take those, and when you're eating nachos, you put one on there because they're little. They're just like that. Eat one, and they're spicy and they're hot, but it's not until you have your 10th one when you go, oh, it's really starting to add up. And you're gonna tomorrow morning.
I was gonna say the next morning, I'm going to be regretting my decision.
Yeah, you're just like, I better stop, but you can't. They're so good. You're like, oh, another one. Oh, spicy.
Right.
But yeah. So,
yeah. And
that's all I've got to say about that.
So the morning after experience is an honest experience that you know of well.
Yeah,
I did find that burger that I was talking about. It's not called the Dan Burger. The Dan Burger is their house burger, but it's called the Ghost Rider.
Ooh, cool, man!
And it is smoked ghost pepper cheese, hot chili sauce, fresh jalapenos, candied jalapenos, and it is a bison burger.
Ooh.
And what city is this in? In
Lake Dillon, Colorado. So it's near Frisco and near what else is over there? Breckenridge is close. Vail's maybe 45 minutes to an hour
so
away.
It's up in the mountain.
It's an hour southwest, I think, from Denver. But, yeah, it's a super solid burger.
Yeah.
And then Brian's, so here's Denver, and it's
it's down towards Bryan, but it's more in the mountains.
Brian's
it is more in the mountains. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in the mountains because you go to Frisco and 100 feet away is a mountain. It's definitely in the mountains. That area is.
No, but Brian's straight south of Denver, but he's talking southwest, which is out in
Right.
There's actually
right.
Here's a cool little fact. There's actually a valley out towards where you're talking about, Isaac, that out there, when I lived in Colorado Springs, they recorded one of the coldest temperatures on Earth in this little valley for one day. Wow. It was negative something bazillion degrees, and it went all over the news. But it was only really in Colorado. This was... the interweb was still going and whatnot, but this was back in the day. And we're there's no way. And then all of a sudden, it was all over the news, coldest temperature on the earth. It was, really? But I guess the way this valley and this storm hit, it just socked all this cold into this little valley for the one day, and just Antarctic cold. It was mind-blowing. Yeah, so there's that. And I totally alluded out of the fact of what we were talking about, burgers. But again, that's why it's called the Random Kristian Show. Now, okay, so because now I'm just obsessed with the eating of the hot things. And if you look into what do you think drives everyone to do this? I'm just I mean, I enjoy munching hot foods and whatnot, but the morning after that, just I mean, after you do it once, you'd think, well, I pretty much learned a lesson there. No.
Yeah, I think there's probably something to it. I mean, I've heard, I don't know for a fact, it does release certain chemicals in the brain when you consume hot food. Not quite sure if it's oxytocin or serotonin, but it's good feeling things, because what's happening is your body feels under attack. So
you survived something dangerous,
right?
It's like skydiving or something. It's like,
I mean, it totally is. Like, there's been some studies, I can't name them, where they have said that there is some effect on like your sobriety from eating something too hot.
Really?
Some people trip out on hot food because of the chemicals that are being released. Now, this is like very case study, like individuals are doing.
Yeah, you can catch a high.
Some people have claimed to. I do know that. I'd have to go back to certain course materials and see
so
about that.
12-step program for people eating hot food.
Right. I mean,
I had 5 jalapenos yesterday.
Right. Now, I mean, the short answer from what I know would be that, kind of like Matt said, like there is that sense of feeling like you just survived something dangerous.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
so chemicals are released because of that.
The whole daredevil aspect of it all.
Yeah.
Ooh, right. Which, by the way, okay, hooking back things in here for a second. Daredevil. How many people thought it was a good movie?
I thought it was great. I thought it was great.
I thought the with what's his nuts? Ben Affleck.
Oh, yep. That's probably his best Superman movie.
Because I don't know. He wasn't a believable Batman for me. I'm not.
No, I don't like the Ben Affleck Batman at all.
Christian Bale, I can't remember him being Batman.
Huh?
Like, honestly, I don't remember him being Batman.
In the latest releases of the Batman,
Justice League, Justice League, and Batman Superman.
All these. Now we got to go back to when we started talking about all the comic book movies and stuff. I'm not a comic book fan. I've read some here and there. When everyone was starting to get on, like Marvel this, Marvel that, like you got to watch them, and like, why? I'm not invested in any of these characters. Oh, there goes the nerd. Dopamine and endorphins. So he is watching.
Yes.
But and by the time because I think they oversaturated the market, and by the time the Daredevil came out, I just had lost any interest in it, at all.
Really?
And especially Ben Affleck. I mean,
no, I
don't hate him, but I think that he's
kind of
Ben Affleck, and there was a really good chance they could have really ruined a comic that I actually did enjoy. I like the blind man being, heightened senses. I think it's a great superhero, and I was really afraid.
Yeah, and let me just add this. I think that was the most wonderful thing about the Marvel, Stan Lee era of superheroes. A lot of them were so believable. Daredevil, he got his through an accident and some chemical exposures. Tony Stark, just basically pure genius. So
it's pure tech. I mean,
Yeah.
Right.
It's and that's what Spider-Man. Yeah, it's a reach, but how many times have you thought, well, if I throw a spider in the microwave, pull it out after like 10 seconds, and let it bite me, I may be able to climb the walls. I mean, these are things, that went through your head. It's not like, Superman where, I came from Krypton. Really? Yeah.
Right.
And you survived all the way from your 10 billion galaxies away to here. And yeah, you're faster than a locomotive. And well,
See, he's a boring superhero, because I mean he's old. He has one weakness, and that's a rock that's not native to this planet.
Right.
and you can just throw it at him, and he goes, "Oh God!"
Yeah,
which is lame. Now I like Batman because Batman's a rich kid bent on revenge.
Yeah, and it's
another tech guy, and
yeah,
I think Batman's cool.
Yeah, Hawkeye, totally believable. I mean, no, Batman totally appealed to me. Even when I was a kid, but still, he just seemed kind of, the way they did it back in my day. Grumpy old man coming out. He was just kind of a dork, because he was so goody two shoe and whatnot. But then, I think it was in the early '80s, there was a guy, Frank Gordon, that did the graphic novel of The Dark Knight.
Hey, Paul, tell who did the graphic novel. If he's watching it, he'll let you know.
Oh yeah, Paul. Yeah, check us out. Let us know. I mean, I could Google it, I'm sure, but I'm in the moment. And so Daredevil movie sucked. Wait, hold on. Daredevil movie sucks. Daredevil Netflix is primo. You know what? I had a hard time getting into the Netflix thing. I don't know, but dude, the Daredevil.
I like the Netflix one.
Did you see? Everybody's like, you got to watch into like five episodes of it, and I'm like, oh, you lost me after the first.
You do have to watch in a little bit, but that's also the same with, like, I wouldn't call him a superhero at all, but the Punisher series on Netflix also is.
See, okay, yeah, I'm gonna
super good, but yeah, I don't know. I disagree with the Daredevil movie sucks. I will have to say that.
Yeah, Paul, you suck. Here, I'm hiding your comments now. I can do that. It's my show. So,
but he has some definite opinions on comic book stuff, because he's a comic book nerd. He really, really is. I love my brother, but well, that wouldn't have happened. I like Gru. They should make a movie about Gru.
Oh, from Despicable Me?
No, from Sergio Aragonés, the guy that did the in Mad Magazine, all the margin stuff. He had a comic book, Gru, Groo, and he was.
Wouldn't that be Grow?
He was not a superhero. He was a accidental hero. It was great.
Well,
look it up. Best comic of all time. That's my sad opinion on that.
Okay. So, okay. Yeah. No.
So the Netflix Daredevil, you have to kind of watch it to kind of get into it, kind of a thing.
Right.
Just a little bit, like a couple episodes, and
okay.
See, that's why I watched 2 episodes, and I just, of course, I was kind of distracted when I was doing it, but still, it was like, I really wanted it to be good. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'll have to, I'll have to find some time to watch. Yeah, I got to get my wife into watching this show.
she actually watched The Punisher for a little bit there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she did. I don't know if she continued on with it, but she likes that show, Arrow. I think it's a DC
really?
character.
Yeah,
she watched all through that.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad. I actually watched some of that. I can't remember. I think my daughters were into it or something, and I was watching it with them. And I was like, it's not that bad. It's, it's pretty cool. And again, another believable character also, though. Rich guy, bent on revenge. Yeah. A lot of superheroes are based on revenge.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Revenge is the mother of something.
Yeah.
Necessity? Wait, no. Something else.
It's just a dish best served cold. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Well chilled. Shaken, not stirred. Which, another awesome, you can't really call him a comic book hero, but dude, 007, coolest.
Oh, yeah.
Ever. And who was, okay, between the three of us, your best Bond?
I'll defer to the guest, Isaac.
I am young, so I think I have to go with Daniel Craig's Bond.
Say Daniel Craig.
He just fits the image for me, and I think it's because, one, he is the Bond of my generation.
Right.
But my first Bond movie I ever saw was Casino Royale, and then, of course, I went back and watched all of the other ones.
Yeah.
I really like a lot of the other older ones, but I don't know. There's something about Daniel Craig's style that does it for me, just on like a look of things.
Yeah, and the way. Go ahead, Matt.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say the way they really reworked Bond, for the modern times, obviously, because again, his story is competing with so many now that are very similar. They really had to reamp him and make him, a darker character in a way, as to where before Bond was the elegant gentleman spy, the secret agent that everybody wanted to love and chicks wanted to do.
Right. Yeah.
And, but then he turned
around. I think they capture it.
So
I think they really capture what my fantasy is with like that clandestine spy Cold War. Like it's gritty, like you're saying, like the dark kind of side of things. But that's why I like it, other than it just being the first one I saw.
Absolutely. Matt?
So I'm going to, me, I'm going to have to backtrack a bit. My very first Bond movie I ever saw in the theater was Moonraker. With
Roger Moore.
With Roger Moore, which I like Roger Moore's Bond. It's all right. It's not bad. But then, as a kid, I saw that and then went back like, there's more James Bond. So then Sean Connery, like, holy cow, this guy is, compared to Roger Moore, he's badass.
Right.
Roger Moore was a little more smooth, a little more cool.
Yeah. He was kind of the pussy James Bond.
What?
He was kind of the pussy James Bond.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that, and you just did. And but then in my time, as I was a teenager, Remington Steele was one of my favorite TV shows, and it still is of all time. Like that is just Remington Steele is cool.
It was a cool show. I'll admit that.
And when he was going to be James Bond, but then NBC, see, he is a nerd. When he was going to be James Bond, and then NBC screwed him over by saying, "Well, no, you're in a contract, but yet we're still going to cancel your show." And then they got Timothy Dalton, and I think Timothy Dalton is the worst James Bond. He was a decent placeholder, but then it never lived up to the expectations after him with Pierce Brosnan. And I would have to agree with you, Isaac. I think that the new James Bond are the best, from Casino Royale. And if you look at it, like, the other films were filmed in a certain style from their time, and what they had to do when they rebooted Bond with Daniel Craig, I mean, we're looking at the Bourne films just changed the action industry. That that thing, the
Born
style of
Identity.
filming and like just everything. And I think that Casino Royale married the Bond series with the Bourne series beautifully, I think. And like you said, he's way grittier. It's just I really like the Daniel Craig ones, and it reminds me of when I, like I said, when I was a kid getting into James Bond, read the books. And when you're reading like Thunderball, that was the first book I read, and I remember reading it, and it's in your mind, it's so badass, and you're just like, oh God, it's a great story, and like James Bond is so cool. And then I found the movie, and you watch it, and you're like, it's so low key.
Yeah.
Like, this is not the book I read. Like I know the book I read was bad, but the movie's good. But yeah, I think the Daniel Craig version has just lived up to what it was supposed to be.
Right.
Which is dirty fighting.
You also have to look at the times, the way the movies were made, back when Thunderball came out or Goldfinger and stuff. They had to be a certain amount of safe. They had to be very, they couldn't take the book like, Daniel Craig. Okay. The books that were written for his character, you can put that. I mean, that's almost tame compared to some of the movies that are out there, obviously. And so, the Sean Connery Bond that you see, he had a bit of a darkness to him. That's what I liked about him, because you weren't really sure. There was certain points where he would turn, and all of a sudden he'd be like, "Now this, I'm done," and he'd go after it. Now, not as extreme as the Daniel Craig character, 00 Bond, 007, 00 Bond.
00 Bond.
So, yes, yeah. Mike Myers is a pussy, by the way. Anyway, and now I'm taking your comment down because I can. No, and that, don't even get me started on Austin Powers, because we don't have enough time.
Yeah, please don't get him started on Austin Powers.
We can. I have all the time in the world.
But that reminded me, the original Casino Royale, when there's
with Peter Sellers.
Well, with a whole slew of different Bonds. Like,
oh yeah.
It's just another great movie.
Yeah.
But Daniel Craig's version's way better.
I mean, he really embodied it, because they tried with they tried with Timothy Dalton. Obviously, he failed, and then they went to Pierce Brosnan, who started bringing that darker side into the Bond character. He started having his. You could see the understory of Bond and his background, where he came from, and then all of a sudden they just took it, 5 notches, 10 notches up, whatever you want to call it, and brought in the Daniel Craig character, who just, there you go, boom, word. This is how it is, and he'll disappear and, go live on an island being, Mr. You don't want to cross me. Which at first I was really uncomfortable with it, because I grew up on the Sean. My first James Bond movie was the Live and Let Die. Saw it at a drive-in theater up in Lake Tahoe with my family, and I remember just I sat there just jaw open the entire movie. I mean, my dad was like, "You really like this movie?" I was like, "Oh my gosh, Dad, this is the best movie!" And of course, they were re-showing it right afterwards. I'm like, "Can we stay and watch it again?" He's like, "No." 4 kids in a station wagon. Popcorn everywhere. My little sister having to go to the bathroom every 5 minutes, and yeah. But oh no, I was so hooked. And then when my mom remarried, she married a gentleman from the United Kingdom, and he was such a Bond fanatic. I mean, he had all the movies. We would sit there, and this was back when I was drinking. We'd play darts until like 2 or 3 in the morning, and let's go watch some Bond. Okay. sun's coming up, and we're sitting there drunk, passed out in chairs, and watching James Bond, and my mom would come out, go to bed. I said, okay, yeah. Love you, and 007. So yeah, it's wow, fully geeked out on James Bond. I'm sorry.
I pulled up IMDb on the other computer over here because I am multi-screening right now, and it only took like 5 minutes for me to pull it up. But David Niven is in that original Casino Royale, and he's a really good Bond. He would have made a great Bond.
I could have seen him as becoming a recurring a Bond. I mean, he had that finesse and that stealth for that time, but dude, Connery totally overtook it. I mean, you just can't beat Sean Connery. Especially when he's on Jeopardy and lambasting Alex Trebek and on Saturday Night Live. If you ever get the chance,
rapist for 100, please.
I'll take Catch the Seaman for 500. That's Catch These Men. Yeah.
Oh God. So the best Bond soundtrack is "Live and Let Die." That's the best Bond song.
Yeah, I was about to say it's got to be the "Live and Let Die" soundtrack. What do you think there, Isaac?
I really like that one, but again, I think I'll have to appeal to my Daniel Craig. I like Skyfall. I like Skyfall soundtrack so much.
Who does the main song in there?
The main song is what's her name?
One of those was just amazing, if I remember.
I believe Adele sings Skyfall.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, I love Adele.
And I'm excited for the new one soundtrack because what's her name? She's young, but she released the song "No Time to Die" for the new one with Daniel Craig, and that song is really good too.
Who? I haven't heard this.
Billie Eilish.
Okay.
She's the young dyes her hair, she kind of dresses like a guy, but
I'm aware.
She's got a great voice.
I've heard some of her stuff. It's good. It's not my cup of tea, but it's not bad. At all.
Yeah, I didn't realize I was listening to one time. I'm like, this ain't too bad. And then they're like, that's Billie Eilish. I was like, all right, I'll give her something. I know. I've heard she can get really dark and weird, and
she can get real dark. But the work she did for at least this Bond movie from that song is really, really impressive. I don't know that it tops Adele's Skyfall, but just the soundtrack for me is Skyfall.
I'm gonna say also because I'm a Duran Duran freak. I know it's a girly band, whatever, but dude,
Duran rules. Come on, man.
View to a Kill, dude. That was a great song. I don't know. It had this great. It really fit the movie. It was a very good soundtracky song. It wasn't a great Duran Duran song, but it's
cool. I'll have to check that out.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. Thank you, Isaac. Billie Eilish, No Time to Die. You know what? Here, I'm gonna pull it up right now because I can do that, and maybe we'll just use that as our exit song because we are getting there. And I know, Isaac, you probably gotta get going here, don't you?
Yeah, I'll have to scoot here in a second.
Okay, BILLIE. Okay, it's
a very slow song. It seems that from Casino Royale to this movie, the soundtrack songs, the main songs get slower. They're more drawn out. But I don't know, I really like this song.
All right, I'm pulling it up here. And
I also have to say that Goldfinger is a great song too.
Also a great band.
And it is a pretty great band. I saw them with the Sex Pistols, and they played a Duran Duran cover.
Yep. And you know who the lead singer is there, don't you? I'm just saying.
I understand he's someone you know fairly well.
I kind of grew up with him, good friend of mine, and so Anywho, okay, Billie Eilish. Well, of course, it's YouTube, so I've got to have 5 commercials, or maybe not.
Wait.
Oh no, this is a documentary. I don't want documentary of her. Oh wait, what is it? I don't know. What in the... Man, there's some weird stuff on YouTube. Sometimes I get really lost in the whole YouTube generation thing. What? No, this is not what I wanted. 137 million followers.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something about Daniel Craig's Bond that always is it for me. I don't know. There's the grit mixed with the classiness. Like, he'll beat the crap out of you in the back alley and then light a cigar afterwards.
Yep. And sit there and put it out on your forehead when he's done.
Right.
So, there we go.
Oh, did you find it?
Yeah. Can you hear it?
Nice. Yeah.
I can totally see this in a Bond movie.
When's this? Is this out yet?
The movie's not out yet.
It's not out yet.
They've had some delays in production.
Yeah. COVID.
Yeah.
It's a series that I will watch every James Bond movie within a year after it comes out. Sometimes I wait, sometimes I sit at the theater, but oh man, I love James Bond. It's more than Star Wars.
Yeah, and again, yeah,
and I love Star Wars.
Dude, original Star Wars. Come on. Yeah,
Isaac, you want to hear something crazy? This during the COVID, my wife and I watched if it's available to be watched. My wife and I watched every Star Wars thing in chronological order, including every cartoon, everything. And you want to waste some time and learn way too much stuff about Star Wars?
Nerd.
Do it. Oh, way nerd. Oh God.
I've spent some time in some YouTube rabbit holes, like to the point where what does each crystal for kyber crystal mean for the lightsabers, and like I spent too much time.
Crazy stuff. So good.
Oh, there's clips from the movie.
And we know everything about Star Wars now that you need to know, and my lord. And now I'm hooked on The Mandalorian.
Yeah, The Mandalorian I like a lot.
See, and the other cool thing about Daniel Craig is they make him really human in it, in the Bond character, because he gets his ass handed to him a few times,
he gets
shows, as to where, like, well, I think with the Timothy Dalton character, that he started getting beat up, but like Bond, Sean Connery Bond would be like getting hit, and he'd be like, whatever.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I've never seen.
Listen, Trebek.
Sean Connery or Lord, I'm spacing on this. What's his face's name? None of them ever got beat up.
Yeah, no, it was.
No, I think every movie Daniel Craig gets beat up a couple times.
Yeah,
and bad.
There's that one fight scene in Casino Royale where, man, he was like, I think they threw him down the stairs, or there was a fight in a stairwell, and it was like, man, it was, it's crazy. Like, they really do humanize the character.
Well,
so good. Yeah, I mean,
we've fully geeked out on, and dude, I could keep going for hours on end, but I think this is a good point to end on, with a realistic, honest, true hero, which would be James Bond. I mean, as character wise,
Sure.
Again, so let's just throw it out there. We want to thank everyone for doing what they do. Doesn't matter what you are, truck driver, volunteers. God bless you, because there's so many people that volunteer that go unthanked, and they don't do it for thanks. They don't do it for anything but to help. So God bless you, and all our service, all our police, firemen, all of y'all, except the politicians. You can go right up here. But I want to thank each and every one of you and everybody for listening. Isaac, thank you for stepping in and helping out, man. I would love to have you back in here. You enjoyed it. Come back, please, anytime. And it was great to have you in here, man. Loved your perspectives and checking in. Matthew, thank you, sir. And I'll probably see you on Thursday. Let's do a little replugging here real quick. Maddie's photos on Instagram, right? Yeah, pretty much.
Let me look at my card. At Maddie's photos. Yeah.
And Isaac,
I actually posted something this week.
Did you? Oh, no, I think I saw it.
The hamburger buns.
Yes, that was very cool.
They were very good.
Tampico.com.
Yep.
Right, Tampico Restaurant in Leavenworth, over by the base there, guys. If anybody's out in Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, head on into Tampico. Tell them Isaac sent you. And the Random Kristian Show, because you're listening here. And I want to thank also Las Gatas Auto Service for checking us out and subscribing. So make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube or Facebook Live, or listen up on Anchor.fm, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple iTunes, all that. All those services, they carry us because we're that damn cool. And by the way, just a little quick note, Russia, now part of our listening crowd. So we've got Albania, we've got New Zealand, we've got Russia, we've got Jamaica, we've got Ireland, still number one, by the way. Well, number two, USA, number one, apparently. But, for the size of Ireland, I think comparatively, we're number one, pretty much in Ireland. So, still. And Russia,
per capita,
we're starting to chip away. So, thank you, Russia, for checking us out. Albania, New Zealand, you Kiwis, love y'all. All right, guys, thank you so much for being a part of the show. We will Isaac, hopefully let me know when you want to jump back in. We'll love to have you. Sure. And I will say goodbye to you, sir. Enjoy. Matthew?
You just cut him off. Bye, Isaac. It was nice meeting you.
Oh. There. Now,
bye, Isaac. It was nice meeting
you.
Bye,
guys. Thanks for having me.
When he cuts you, he's like, and he's gone.
I'm learning as I go here. I have all this new technology at my fingertips. It's awesome.
Yeah, excuses.
Oh, and by the way,
I'll see you guys.
My disco lights, I ruined.
Oh, yeah, you.
I tried stapling them up, and apparently one holes went into one part, so it went. So there was three
they all went. Yeah.
So, but Isaac was the one that got me those disco lights. They were so incredibly awesome. I've got to find some more. So, Isaac, thank you.
Really cool. Much.
Yeah.
Go enjoy and eat and have a great time. And we will talk to you soon.
We'll see you later.
You have a beautiful week, and we'll talk to you Thursday, sir.
I will be here most likely. I mean, God willing.
James Bond coming in and taking over everything. So, and everybody else, again, thank you. Thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe, whatever you're watching on and listening on. Spread the word, okay? And Paul. Hey, Paul, thanks for hanging out with us today. Anybody who is chiming in, I'm sorry I didn't get to everybody, and I just was going along here. So, guys, thank you so much. Please keep coming back every Tuesday and Thursday at 2:30 Central Time. We'll be out here. Thank you. God bless. Take care of each other, and we'll see you all later. Have a good one. Hooked on a feeling. Yeah, hooked on a feeling, baby. Boom.